Hello friends, I'm Chevee. Welcome to my shed. This place is a disaster and I'm going to clean up while I talk to you. I hope that's okay. How was your weekend? I hope that you didn't have whatever the heck it was I had, because it was miserable. Still have it. Stayed home today, mostly because it was a snow day for the kiddos, and so I stayed home with them, but also because I just wasn't feeling still up to snuff. Lots of coughing today. So, but I did all the cool camera gear that I got last week. I got it all set up today. I made like a shelf behind my computer station to set my little tripod on, so I got a camera there. I made a ring light around my monitor. Pictures of that stuff's on Twitter, and I'll post some links or something if you want to see those pictures. And so yeah, I'm ready to do some actual like PC gaming, because that's what people have asked for. I guess people don't really give a crap about mobile gaming. I don't know what the problem is. I like mobile gaming, but this place, it's obvious I was working down here, because when I work down here, I like stuff in its place, but when I'm in the middle of doing something, stopping to put something back is difficult for me, because it breaks the rhythm, and that doesn't work. So, okay, at least we're getting the table back. What I wanted to talk about today was cybersecurity. Now, lots of good comments from you guys, so thank you very, very much for participating. That means a lot to me when you guys chime in on topics that are interesting to all of us. The reason I wanted to talk about it, last year, 2016, was like a terrible year for hacks and all this other stuff. And, well, you know, personal identity is something that I feel like a lot of people don't really pay attention to. When I was a child, before the internet, existed, when we still had like AOL and Prodigy and CompuServe, you simply didn't give out personal information online. Like, that was a huge no-no. You didn't tell people your name. You didn't give them your address. Just nothing about you, because then it would allow them to find you if they were creepy. Let's face it, if you're creepy, there's no better way to find people to creep on than the internet. So there was a strict rule about it. And it wasn't like there was internet police that were gonna, but everybody was cautious. Everybody used handles, and didn't use our real names. Just pretended to be somebody else, I guess. And today is the exact opposite of that. Facebook, for better or worse, really just took away the idea of personal identity. And so many people just don't care anymore if everybody in the world knows who they are and where they're from. So I wanted to talk to you about it, because I'm curious to know how much other people think about this stuff. I think about it pretty often. I use two-factor authentication for any website that allows it. That basically means that you have to have my phone to be able to log in. Or you have to have access to one of my many email addresses to log in, because it's going to send you a code. There could be SMS login. There could also be Google Authentication login, which is an app that, so if somebody steals my SIM card, they can't get the text. They actually have to get the app. They have to have my phone. So, I think about stuff like that fairly frequently. And it just seems like there's a lot of people who don't, right? And I like the address thing. I'm not really concerned about somebody coming to my house. The video that I have, the time capsule video, I get dozens of comments a month about how I shouldn't show my address on the internet, because there's a point where you can see my parents' address. nobody cares. Like, it's been 5 years and nobody cares. Nobody's looking at that and going, oh, I can go find this guy now. I know where he lives. So that I'm not too concerned about. You know, like the blurring of your license plate so nobody does a license plate search. Nobody's going to bother to do all that crap, right? But at the same time, I'm not PewDiePie. If I was PewDiePie, and then yeah, people would show up because people are creepy. So on a personal level, there's a few different tiers. So number one is not using the same password for everything. That's the one thing that people just simply ignore. I basically have 3 tiers of passwords. I have my stupid password for stuff I really don't care about that has no actual links to anything else. I have my pretty secure passwords. I have about 5 of those that I keep in memory. And I basically have to remember which one I used for which site. And then I have like the uber secure password, which is like a hashed generated 64, 128-bit string that I don't know that stays in a key database. And I have to, you know, get into my key database to get the password. That's for everything that's important to me. My YouTube and all that stuff. I don't have passwords on this stuff. I don't know the password to my YouTube. Couldn't tell you what it is. So it helps to know that I guess you could hack it if you could figure out where I keep my key file and all that stuff, but it would be difficult. I try to make it more difficult. Now, at some point in my life, I decided to just start using my name on the internet. Prior to using Chevee on the internet, I was random person. That was always my password, just random _ person. And used that for years on chat rooms and, you know, message boards and all that stuff. And then at some point, one day, I just decided I'm going to start using my name. And that essentially started when I started publishing board games, because then it was, I needed a brand. And I didn't want to come up with, like, you know, blue felt games. So I just said, I'm just going to use me. I'll be the brand, Chevee Dodd. And so really prior to that, you'd be hard pressed to find me on the internet. I essentially didn't exist. Here I am talking to you about online security, and I really don't put a whole lot of effort into it. And that's what I wanted to hear from you. Like, how much effort should I put into it? So let's just look at some of your comments. Sam said, my take is this: everything you post online, everything you email or text, every photo you share, every video, no matter how secure you believe it to be, or how secure it actually is right now, is up for sale. You may be reassured by Facebook and Google and Uber that your credit card companies, that your information is safe and secure, but they haven't sold them. If they haven't sold them in some form already, that's because they're waiting for some data-hungry research company to come along with the right number of dollars and the right algorithm to make it possible to transfer your data without technically violating the agreement they hold with you. Yes, that's very, very true. So, you know, Sam goes on to talk about the way that we protect ourselves from this sort of data sales, and understanding that everything that you do on the internet is up for sale because you are the product. If you're not, you know, the classic adage of if you're not paying for a site, then you're the product. And that's very true. Gmail doesn't charge you because you're the product. You know, they're selling advertisements to you individually. And so, yes, they are scanning your emails. Yes, they are looking for certain keywords that they can advertise to those keywords. It's just how it is. Josh King said, I work in marketing on a more technical side, but I'm very aware of tracking. Retargeting, remarketing is something that has become and will become more prevalent. Am I worried about it to my end? I'd be a hypocrite if I did, but I always try to push clients into more ethical directions. It's a gray area right now. As far as data security, I do worry about it, and I have to when building websites and applications, but when it comes to stuff for my job, I defer to people smarter than me on that. I'm not an expert. Yeah, I recently built a database software for my employer, and I wrote my own login scripts, and people were like, you should never do that because that's just totally insecure. And it is to some degree. You know, I used all the best practices when I wrote the login system. So I'm not concerned about it. I really just didn't need a plug-in login system that was 60 pages of, so I just did it. Is it the right thing to do? Probably not. Probably the right thing to do would be to use a login authenticator like Google or Facebook or, a third-party app that allows for secure login. But I didn't do it. But the thing that I don't really think about is identity theft. It's just not something that ever really, who's going to steal my identity? What are they going to get out of it? A couple $100? I have nothing. This camera is worth more than me, right? And so that's a very naive way of looking at it. But the truth is, that's how most people look at it. What are they going to take? I'll just I'll deal with that if it happens. But for right now, just whatever. And I think that's the standard way of viewing data security or online personal security. Coma said this nice, lovely post about how she's extremely secure with who she is online. You can't search her and find her on the internet. But at the same time, she has a Google account now, and she uses WhatsApp, which is just as bad as Facebook. But the one thing that I want to know that I have never actually researched is, I know Facebook tracks your activity on any page that has a Facebook button, as long as you're logged into Facebook. But what if I'm not logged into Facebook? If I log out of Facebook, does it delete the cookie so that Facebook doesn't know it's me browsing that website? There's a whole lot of stuff like that that's really awkward. I remember hearing not too long ago about a dad who found out his teen daughter was pregnant because she got some coupons or stuff in the mail for expecting mothers. And so Target knew that she was expecting before her father did because of her purchasing history on her credit card. I mean, stuff like that is just kind of creepy to me. And I don't know how concerned the general populace is. I feel like not very, right? I have a Facebook account. I barely ever use it. It's set to private. You have to request to be my friend. Everything I publish is private. And I don't stay logged into it if I'm not using it, mostly because my mom tries to message me and she doesn't understand that I don't use Facebook. And she's like, why don't you ever respond to my messages? Well, I don't use Facebook. Well, you're always on. No, I'm not. So I sign out. And that's that's actually honestly sad. The reason I don't stay logged into Facebook is so my mom doesn't nag me. Not because I'm concerned about being tracked. No. That is a type of tracking, right? Mom's tracking me. But I'm really, I'm on the fence about a lot of it too. I use a lot of social apps, Twitter, Facebook, Google, Instagram, and I post stuff on there. But I've also been very conscientious about posting. I don't post a whole lot of intimately personal things. Obviously, on this show, we have lots of discussions about intimately personal details of my life. But if somebody is going to sit through the Google auto caption log and try to find out stuff about me, then hey, have at it. At least I'm getting the views. So yeah, I'm not sure what this was all about. I'm kind of distracted by the whole building stuff today and the gaming thing, and I didn't sleep at all last night. But I really just wanted to hear your viewpoint, so thank you for giving me your viewpoint. I really do appreciate it. Tomorrow, I want to talk about 3D printing. I'm been in the market, and out of the market, and in the market for 3D printers. I'm not sure if I want one. I think I do. If you have one, or if you have a recommendation for one, please let me know down below. Or if you have things that I should avoid, please let me know down below. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything more to do with a 3D printer than just print trinkets and keychains. Because I have a few specific projects, but beyond that, I'm not sure what I would use it for. So that's tomorrow's topic. Thank you for being here. As always, I really do appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from innerbody.com. What is the master gland in the human body? The thyroid gland, ovaries, testes, mammary glands, and the cortex of the adrenal glands are all stimulated by the hormones of the anterior pituitary, resulting in the pituitary gland being known as the master gland for its control of the endocrine system.